Watch and listen at riotradio.ca.
Hello and welcome to Riot Radio. I'm Courtney Beresford here with U.S.S. So I have the human Kebab and Ash. How's it going, guys?
Phenomenal. Riot Radio, first time ever for us.
Yeah, here's to now, here's to friends, here's to love that never ends.
Did you just look that up on your phone?
No, it was a picture of a poem I wrote that I just read.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's a picture of the poem.
Yeah. I shaved it into my dog. I don't have a dog.
I think that might be a good thing. So, start us off. Tell us about your new album that's coming out in February.
Our new album is called Advanced Basics.
And, see, the thing of it is, no, to be honest, ever since the day I met Ash, he always reiterated the concept of abstract literalism, or divergent opposites, as he also put it. And then he also put it as advanced basics. It, in a nutshell, in layman's terms, the most difficult things in life are most of the time the simplest, and that we don't take enough time to stop and breathe and really internalize and externalize objectively.
Yeah, so it was just exactly the time in life to externalize the concept of advanced basics. And so yeah, this whole album was the process of that amazing time in your life when everything's so light and fluffy.
The good times.
Yeah, and then how that light and fluffiness somehow turns into like a lead anchor, and then you end up inside of like a rusty treasure chest at the bottom of the ocean, and you're just dreaming about being a cloud again. And yeah, it takes advanced basics to get kind of come back to that lightness. So that's what we're all about with this album, is just releasing that heaviness again and coming back to that lightness. And for everyone, it's different. This process happens at a different point in their lives. And with the experiences that I've had, the younger that you are, that you can have that experience, just the more joy that you can have and share and spread.
For sure. Well said.
That was great.
Yeah. Oh, I also have this to say. I'm a messenger who's been delivered to the world in 30 minutes, or I'm free.
Which actually
is also shaved into my dog that I don't have.
Which actually is completely fitting further to your first question, because the album clocks in under 30 minutes.
Yes.
So it's got to be delivered in 30, or it's free.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how do you write and develop your songs?
That process involves a lot of cheese and a lot of onions.
Love it already.
No, I just love cheese and onions.
Favorite kind of
you
cheese?
You take a white onion, you cut it in half, and then you cut it in half again, and then you peel off some of the layers, and then you have this hammock of onion. And then you take a piece of cheese, approximately 2/3 the thickness of your pinky, and about the same length as the onion hammock, and you put the cheese in the onion hammock, and you just put it right in your mouth. And then you live for the first time.
You know what's amazing is that, so the hammock of onion he speaks about is basically all the parts and songs and ideas, lyrics and melodies that Ash has written since he was a teenager. And then the cheese, in this case, would be myself and any other creative moron that he can find in the world. Probably the biggest part of the cheese these days is a gentleman named Todd Salter.
Yeah, who is responsible for Walk Off the Earth's
Lights, Josh Groban.
Yeah.
And
My neuroses.
yeah. So we would be the cheese. He's the hammock of the onion put into the mouth of the universe.
That's it.
Beautiful.
Very much so. Yeah, I mean, my creative process has very much been about like doing like a couple hundred puzzles at the same time. Like you're just walking around in life and you're finding one piece at a time. And then all the advanced basics I have to do to keep my intuition like samurai sharp is what intuitively knows, and Jason's helps to keep that samurai sword sharp too, is which pieces go onto which puzzle. So that couple hundred songs that's constantly in evolution is finding all these little pieces and these little fortune cookies, and then kind of, putting them all together on holidays when only Chinese restaurants are open and you can get fortune cookies. If you know what I mean. No, I don't even know what I mean.
No, I'm following.
Yes.
Yeah, no, so that's always been a process that, actually, I was just talking about this earlier because someone asked us in an interview what it's like to hear our music on the radio when we hear it. And I've had lots of situations in life where, because my grandmother was, on my dad's side of the family, very intuitive, kind of like psychic almost. And the way that manifests itself in me is with music, where I almost write something and I have no idea why I've written it, until in the future I'm inside of a situation and what I wrote is actually the advice that I needed to give myself in the future.
That's cool.
Of how to handle something, how to deal with something. So that happened today, because they went in to get coffee and pepperoni at Esso, because they're vegan, and Vegan Hypocrites. That's our new band name. And no, they don't eat the pepperoni. They just use it as a stir stick in the coffee.
Oh yeah, like Fritz.
So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Got a story about that actually.
So the last thing about it is that my dad, who just came back into my life after 20 years of being gone, and he used to get so focused on what he was doing that he would dip everything into his coffee, right? Like whatever he was eating, he wouldn't even think about it. And one time I saw him dip his pepperoni pizza slice into his coffee,
Oh my goodness.
and one of the pepperonis fell off and made this like concentric ring of grease that just like pulsated out into the universe of sloth. And then he took a sip of his coffee and chewed on the pepperoni like he didn't even notice. Like you know what I mean?
Didn't phase him.
Yeah. Like curling was on TV and like the government was doing a good job. Like didn't even notice.
Dude, that's like that scene in Forrest Gump when he sees Lieutenant Dan and he just jumps off his ship that's going 40 knots to swim to him. And the ship just goes. And he
Does
could
the
care
ship
less.
crash into a dock?
Yeah, I think you hear in the background rattling. Yeah.
Okay.
But he doesn't even care.
Yeah.
He's unaware.
So, how does this relate to onions and banana hammocks? I mean,
I thought it was onion.
cheese and onion hammocks.
Banana
It's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what do you expect for your album release in February? Any special events that you have planned that you are allowed to mention?
Well, this is fresh off the beat. Funny you should ask us, Courtney. We have some like viral initiatives that we're gonna do in the city.
And by viral, he means like the actual H1N1 flu virus. We're gonna tell people that unless they listen to our album, our album is the antidote.
Yeah, they're gonna get it. Yeah, no, we with our team.
Wouldn't that be awful?
That would be. I don't even know. That's like 12 monkeys.
That's like actual viral video,
yeah.
viral audio campaign. You will all die unless you buy our record.
You will all die.
On the topic of events, do you have a favorite place you like to play? Or a favorite crowd you like to play in front of?
I love playing actually in stairwells by myself.
He actually performed an a cappella version of our song Laces Out in a stairwell in Berlin behind the venue with the four-piece German band from Hamburg that opened for us on our German tour last summer. So he's not lying.
I'm not.
He's not kidding. That's always like a tough question because clearly, you know, your emotions can become attached to certain venues and cities and geographical locales. Like, I mean, obviously we have an affinity with the Sound Academy because that was the first giant venue that we had the opportunity to play in 2008. So every time we go, like all of the staff, Zeke Myers, who runs the joint, you know, they welcome us with open arms, and people actually come out like they're happy when we're there because we've played there maybe a dozen times now since 2008, and so yeah, in a familial sense, you know, Sound Academy Toronto for me. I don't know necessarily for Ash if he feels the same way, but you know, and then like the Red Dog in Peterborough, like, you know, Matt, our drummer, and I we always joke about it and how ridiculous that place is, and you can't hear yourself on stage. I did a stage dive like 2 years ago, and my feet pulled the lighting rig down on the crowd, and everybody was like, "Oh!" And then at the end of the night, I felt terrible about it. And the bar manager said, he goes, I was like, man, like I will replace the lighting rig. Like I'll pay for it to be fixed or we can get it. And he said, are you kidding me, man? It's rock and roll. Like only in rock and roll can you get away with something that you would throw a person out on their face at EP Taylor's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was apologetic and willing to pay for it because it was an honest mistake, except for the fact that save for the fact that I staged it. Ash has said video for you Riot Radio listeners right here from Berlin, Germany. Ashley Buchholz and the gentleman of We Go.
Yeah, here it is. So we met these guys outside of, what was the venue in Hamburg?
It was a Gross Freiheit, which is the first bar the Beatles had a residency at.
Yes.
Very cool.
So in Hamburg, Germany. So then these guys were like 17, 18 years old, and they were dressed like the young Beatles, like leather jackets, pompadour haircuts and stuff. They sang, Jay wound up going and beatboxing, and they were doing all these Beatles songs. And so then they wound up, when the next time we went back, we got them to open for us on a run of shows in Germany. So I asked that they'd come up every night and sing one of our songs a cappella with us. And so we sang it. So we sang it in the stairwell. Okay, so here it comes. Ready? This is a world premiere. Here it comes. Wait for it. Oh, the beer bottle. Here it comes.
Amazing.
Live in a stairwell
great.
in Germany.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So getting on the topic of pledge. So how has pledge music helped you fund and develop your album?
I'd say probably the most interesting thing about Pledge, outside of the fact that when you have a dedicated fan base of people that want you to continue making music no matter the state of your mind and life in physical reality, is the bizarre and unique experiences that we have encountered. Like, we had this idea to do bowling parties because Ashley loves bowling. In fact, he actually has a bowling team / band called the Turbos.
Yep. We're Canada's first bowling team band.
Actually.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Self-proclaimed, though.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be out there if they make a Wikipedia page and they release music on the radio and stuff. But anyways.
Right now, we're just a beautiful myth.
That's awesome.
Like unicorns.
There's a unicorn in our band.
Beautiful Myth would be like Russell Crowe playing a Sasquatch in the movie of the same title.
It's so hard for him to bowl, though, because we have to get him like a one-hole bowling ball, and he puts it on his, what is it, a horn?
Sasquatch has a horn. There's your unicorn reference outside of the music. The horn. No, but in all seriousness,
We are Canada's first bowling team band.
they are, that's right. The bowling party idea was awesome because it gives fans an opportunity to buy an experience where they can actually come and bowl with us. And ultimately the money from the party, aside from the fact that they get this exclusive hangout with us, which we would do normally, but I mean, it obviously, there's scheduling involved and, where we might be in the world. And it's just a true honor for us to actually get to know people who consume our music and come to our shows.
And they had deep-fried cheese curds at the bowling alley.
They did. And that money ultimately has assisted us in not only the writing, evolution, and production of the record, but it also gives us opportunities to get like new gear for traveling. Like, traveling as a musician with virtually no support is one of the toughest parts of the business.
Yeah, because you can have as many goals and ambitions as you want, but your life is in such a state of flux. You really have to trust the universe.
We actually closed our pledge campaign a week ago. We hit 200% of our goal.
Nice.
And we sold out of the wedding package, which we're absolutely blown away by because we always knew we could pull off weddings, but we never had a
Well, that's how
way
we started. We worked at the same golf course, and in 2004, my sister needed a DJ for a wedding, and I heard through the grapevine that my twin flame idiot soulmate worked at the golf course, and
twin flame idiot.
Twin flame idiot soulmate. And so I heard that he DJ'd, and then so we hung out for the first time at my sister's wedding on an island in Lake Simcoe, and so it started with a wedding, and then then we got to kind of go and play the first dance, one of our songs, Porno Star Trek, which is hilarious because the song's called Porno Star Trek, and so many people have used it as their first dance wedding song, which is amazing. But the number of like father of the brides who must just be like,
do they got tattoos? Who are these guys? Synergy idiots.
No, it's really beautiful.
We offered 3 and we sold them out. The first one was in Sherwood Park outside of Edmonton. The second one was in Halifax, and the third one will be in Scarborough this coming fall. So we've already done 2 of the 3.
Yeah, we were like going down the list, and I was like, wedding, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. It's great how it works out, too, because, like, Ash can do Porno Star Trek acoustic. I mean, in Halifax, we did, like, a full-on performance of it, like, minus Matt playing drums. And in Edmonton, the guy, Sean Rayner, who's become a good friend of ours now, I guess he interpreted the package as, like, have your own U.S.S. concert at home. So when we showed up, they were like, where's the drums? And they literally wanted us to play a show. And like, how are you going to tell a bunch of drunk people who like paid you to be there?
Yeah, I'm going to play our ballad and
leave. And leave. Which technically speaking, he could have done that. But obviously, we're good-hearted people, and like we're absolutely floored that somebody would support us like that and have us come play at their house. So we played like an hour-long show. I DJ'd for like 3 hours. It was unbelievable. Like, and it's just you can't really anticipate those moments. You just gotta roll with the punches.
I drank 2 cream sodas, which was a big night for me. Yeah.
So I know you did the voicemail greetings. Did you do a lot? And what was the weirdest voicemail greeting?
The Barack Obama one was funny because it's me as Barack Obama. Like me as Barack Obama, basically telling callers to leave a message on the answer machine, like as Barack Obama as Human Kebab from U.S.S. Like it was so amazing. Like I actually watched Barack give speeches. Like I watched these 2 speeches on YouTube like 12 times in a row to get like the tone or what I could hear. Sent it to the guy, and he's like, it's like Barack's actually on my answer machine. And it's like, that's amazing, as long as it's not for your work phone.
Yeah.
Can we get a sample of it? Can you do it again?
Yeah, it was like, what was this speech again? And he was like, the American people can't answer the phone, nor can Michelle, my wife, the first lady. I don't even remember how it was.
That's really close.
It was really good.
That's really good.
We just always, when we're on the road, like we just all do dumb voices and impressions of each other and characters and all that stuff. And Barack Obama is a continuing. Because I had this concept where I thought it'd be funny if Barack Obama was your high school buddy, then he became president and he takes you to like international galas where you're standing with like, the king of like Jordan. And he's like, I told my friend Jay, I said, back in college, and I'm like, Barack, get over here. I'm like, shut up, man. Like, dude, your wife's standing in the corner. It's the first lady. Like, get her away from those guys, man. I'm from North Korea. Like, get her over here. You know what I mean? Brock's like, oh, sorry, Jay. Like, leaves.
What has been the most difficult yet rewarding part of your experience as a band so far?
I would have to say me being in the band. I am one of the most exhausting people in Canada. And that's a direct. I am just saying this so Jay doesn't have to say it. It's really not. He he really is he should get like the Silver Jubilee Medal of Canada for having to be in a band with me.
But you know what? It's funny because all seriousness, a serious compliment to that is that at the same time, if Ash didn't have the experience he's had in life and the brain that he has, and how he feels his way through things and can translate that into songs.
I'm like the man of your dreams and the man of your worst nightmare at the same time.
And you know, it's funny. It's like
it's torture, yeah.
But at the same time,
awkward.
it's like, you know, it's led
Beautiful.
to like this music, and it was something that, you know, when I first met Ash, I saw him perform, I saw it instantly, because I mean, it's when you watch people perform live, that's when you first get it. You know, you can hear the song. In our case, yes, fortunately for us, radio embraces us. That's how people find out about us, and then we find more often than not that we make our lifelong fans when they come see us live because we let it all hang out, and that was Ash the first time I met him. So it's like, you know, all that what he just said aside, it's that, you know, it's his genius and greatness in his own brain and how he lives his life and how he externalizes it that has led to the creation of our material, which has seen us play in 9 countries now. So I mean, yeah, it's exhausting at times, but I mean that. But you know what? That's the hard work.
Yeah.
Spending that much time together. I mean,
Yeah, but that's that's never really bothered us. I mean, we just do our thing, you know, like on the road. Like he likes to exercise a lot, and he explores cities in his own way. We'll go and visit people like relatives. Actually, seemingly everywhere we go, between him and our drummer Matt, like they know everybody in every city. They've got guest lists coming out the yin yang. Woo!
Yep. And now I know where to get the thickest tzatziki in Durham. Right here on campus.
How do you feel about the Dean Blundell show being canceled?
We actually are part of the history of that.
I know. I listened to you guys.
Well, because
Couple days. Yeah.
well, Jay was actually the last co-host ever, because it was the last show. But the footnote of history is actually his little brother, who took radio and broadcast. Where was it?
At Seneca at York.
Seneca at York. Never did anything with his diploma, but because I was looking for the burglars who were holding my dopamine hostage that day, so I couldn't make it in. Jay took his little brother in, and he sat at the morning show table for the whole show and didn't say anything. And then at the very end, Jay said, "Can my brother say something?" And so his brother Goose said the last thing at the very end of the show, and so he's the last person that ever that ever spoke on the Dean Blundell show.
Yeah.
So way to go, Goose.
Yeah, Goosey.
Way to put that 15 grand
Yeah.
right in the kisser.
No, I mean, like, it's, you know, however, I know that there's been like so much, there's been a lot of criticism and a lot of hatred towards Dean for years now, and then especially, you know, with first Todd leaving the show, and then when Derek Wellsman got in trouble because he commented publicly about the case that he was involved in as a jury member, and then because that day when they spoke about the case and they cracked, to be completely honest, they cracked the same kind of jokes they always do about everybody, you know what I mean? Not just like homosexuals. Like, I mean, that's the sort of the irony about the whole situation is that, like, you know, lesbian Lou was on the show forever, and then there's gay Jeff, like, and then suddenly, like, Dean just says the normal stuff that he always said, that he always speaks of, and then of course, like, you know, 3 months later, it becomes an issue. Derek, it's in Toronto Star, who's like, they're like the ultimate tabloid newspaper now, you know, like Rob Ford, Dean Blundell show, you know what I mean? Like, they got it all covered, like they got the exclusive. And so, I mean,
well, it was funny for us because people take such a hard line took such a hard line with the Dean Blundell show, and they'd be like, I don't even listen to The Edge anymore. I can't stand those guys in the morning. And so you'd be like, well, I don't know, they just play our songs. And
well, that's the thing, like, it's tough for us because they were supportive of us from Welding the Sea Drive, Hollow Point. They were there from the get-go. Like, you know, we headlined Sausage Fest. We just headlined Dean's Christmas show. And, like, so, I mean, it's, you know, you're getting support from the biggest alternative rock station, if not the biggest rock station in the country, biggest morning show in the country. And it's like, you know, and I mean, he's a real dude. Like, you know, he actually is like he's been a good person to us. And I know for, like, you know, lots of other people, like any, you know, contractor you'd see on the street or roofer. I mean, Ash and I were roofing when Welding the Sea Drive came out. Like, would listen to that in the morning because that would be their laugh, their break from their work. So I mean, it's obviously in the mainstream, like that's a big ordeal. Like the poking that they did at like the, you know, like the homosexual community because of the trial that Derek was involved in. But it's like the other side of the coin is that, you know, it was an outlet for like, you know, potentially like hundreds of thousands of people all over the GTA who listen to that to get by in their morning, you know. So it's, but I mean, 13 years, like he had a huge run. A lot of people didn't think it'd go that long, and I mean, he came in when like Disturbed was still in the radio, you know, and like Seether and like Linkin Park was coming out of the hybrid theory, you know. So when now you've got like. They got like it's like Little Talks by Monsters and Men just finishes playing, and then Dean's like, okay, what happened? We got a guy with herpes in his face and a hammer for a leg. And you just heard like the nicest Icelandic indie rock you've ever heard outside of Bjork.
That just reminded me of this time I went into a gas station and there was this Eastern European guy in front of me, and he said, he goes, "Give me lottery ticket." And the guy behind the counter is like pulls out the lottery like scratch cards and he puts them on the counter. And then he goes, the guy behind the counter is like, cash for life? And he goes, cash for life. He goes, it's not cash for life, it's cash for wife. I get cash, I give to wife.
That's awesome.
I've never laughed so hard in an Esso gas station in Etobicoke in my life. Or my wife.
Do you remember the last interview you had here?
I do.
I can refresh your memory.
It's brought the laptop.
Yes.
You brought the laptop.
It's you reaching up through the thing. Remember I got you
Oh,
going to the table?
yeah.
So my question is, how is the website going? I don't know if you've seen this video, but
I saw it.
You've seen it?
I've seen it,
It's
yeah.
Human Kebab, and I'm heir to the throne of what used to be Bargain Heralds.
Oh yeah, you're losing.
That's a lot of money. You know why? Because we saved a bunch because we were cheap. We cut corners for you. Sold you your wares. Who's this beside me?
My name is Ashley Buchholz, and I do a lot of even jobs because everybody in the world on Craigslist does odd jobs. And I'm gonna make $1 billion by doing all of the even jobs in the world.com. That's my website. That whole thing I just said. It's .com at the end.
Hope you got it.
.com.
It's a long website address.
So what's changed for you guys since then? Other than the new album release coming out soon. I mean, even personally. I mean, how have you grown?
Gone through a few relationships.
I'm dating my own father. It's true. We have a bachelor apartment together. He looks like a merman when he lies in bed. It's so weird and sexy. Didn't see that coming, did you? Or hear it coming?
Yeah. To be honest, actually, outside of traveling to the United States, that was just before we started traveling globally. That was April 2012, if I recall. I think April 11th, 2012. And then since then, we played 9 countries. So that's changed, and that really changed us as a band, actually. So, yeah.
What is the weirdest smoothie you've ever made / drank?
Oh, man. It was in London, Ontario, and they didn't have anything at the bar. I didn't have time to stop to get fruit. They didn't have anything at the bar except for bar cherries, like maraschino cherries and limes. And then I ran all over London, and there's nothing open except this convenience store that had the dustiest can of pineapple chunks. So it was
So sick.
dusty canned pineapple, maraschino cherries that were probably the first batch ever invented, and
From the 20s.
yeah, and old bar limes and water. Yeah, that's actually Booster Juice just bought the copyright, and it's called the London Fog to make that smoothie. So
It's funny you mention that because we don't make smoothies anymore.
yeah, because I got electrocuted in Singapore by the blender.
I think I heard that on Dean's show.
Yeah, because then in Amsterdam, when I put the lid on it and he was finishing the song and I turned the knob on, the thing sprayed all over the place. All the
The
Dutch were
bottom, the
losing it.
bottom broke out, and the smoothie just went like, it was like wearing a skirt of smoothie, like the table.
Like 1,500 sold out Dutch people for Walk Off the Earth and us as support in this beautiful brand new shopping mall venue. It was like a
Yeah.
shopping mall. It was like a basketball court in a new high school. That's how pristine it was. There's smoothie crap everywhere. I'm like, dude, we gotta stop, man. And it's funny because after we stopped, all the shows went smooth because we had one less thing to worry about. And then we started playing Hey Ya every night, remember?
That's what happened.
Everyone in the UK was like, oh, that's brilliant. That's so brilliant. Oh.
Yeah, we had to retire that. My electrolyte count after shows has definitely dropped significantly.
Yeah.
But my risk of electrocution and public humiliation
Has declined substantially.
What do you hope for USS in the future?
This is the order. It goes
He'll answer this, yeah.
hearts full of joy, faces full of smiles, passports full of stamps, bank accounts full of money. And the hearts full of joy and the faces full of smiles are for the people that we're around. That's what we are. That's our business. That's the business that we provide.
Awesome.
And then the side effect of that is passports full of stamps and bank accounts for us. So I can take care of my parents and stop dating my dad because it's so weird. No more mermen.
Sexy.
No, and sexy. Yeah.
And sexy.
No, I mean like we can like.
That was the highlight of the interview.
Yeah.
He's dead serious. That was actually our intention.
I promised my mom I'd take care of her when I was a kid, and she still tells me it's not too late to go back to teachers college. So something this has to work out.
It's gotta give.
So it's going to.
Pay it forward.
Here we are.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Hopefully everybody's coming out for Winterfest tonight to see the awesome bands playing. And that's it for us. Thank you very much again.
Thank you, Riot Radio, for having us and for not actually having a riot because, God forbid, we wouldn't be able to play the show.
Awesome. Thank you very much for tuning in. You're listening to riotradio.ca.
Hi, we're U.S.S. and we used to be mermen, but now we have regular legs.
And we've decided to become sexy because you're watching Riot Radio. Yes,
Strike the champion.